Whips cracked. Boulders rolled. And the fedora became legend. The Indiana Jones saga wasn't just about treasure, it was about the unforgettable faces who brought the adventure to life.
He's laying on the cement.
Is he breathing?
She's trying to give him mouth to mouth. Please get over here, please.
Calm down, okay? Sir, calm down. Tell her not to give mouth.
But behind the on-screen thrills, real-life tragedy loomed. This is Indiana Jones actors who have tragically passed away. You didn't need more than 5 minutes to believe it. River Phoenix was Indiana Jones. That train-top chase in The Last Crusade, the sudden whip crack, the panic over snakes. It felt like watching Harrison Ford shrink into a teenager before your eyes. Harrison Ford actually suggested River for the role after their bond on the Mosquito Coast, and Spielberg trusted him to carry Indy's origin. Phoenix did more than that. He stole the whole prologue. Phoenix had it all. Talent, beauty, depth.
You're gonna have to kill me, Ace.
No problem.
Stand By Me, My Own Private Idaho, running on empty. He didn't just act, he haunted every scene. By 18, he was Oscar nominated. He was also a passionate activist, known for his animal rights and environmental work, and a committed vegan. But Hollywood's promise can be a curse.
Okay, calm down a little bit, okay? What's the address where you need it?
It's Sunset and Larrabee. It's at the Viper Room. He's laying on the cement.
Is he breathing?
She's trying to give him mouth to mouth. Please get over here, please.
Calm down, okay? Sir, calm down. Tell her not to give mouth.
On Halloween night in 1993, at just 23 years old, River collapsed outside the Viper Room, where he was set to perform with his band, and died from an accidental drug overdose.
I remember being just devastated, that he died that way.
He was officially pronounced dead at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He left behind more than roles, he left behind wonder. For one unforgettable scene, he was the boy who'd become the man with the hat, and that scene still echoes today.
Going the wrong way. We have to get to Berlin.
Brody's this way.
My diary's in Berlin.
We don't need the diary, Dad. Marcus has the map.
If you ever watched The Last Crusade with your dad, Sean Connery felt like more than a movie dad. He felt real. As Professor Henry Jones, he wasn't just Indiana's father. He was the only man who could put him in his place with a raised eyebrow and a dry Scottish quip. Connery brought gravitas, mischief, and tenderness to a role that could have been a caricature. Instead, he made it iconic. It was genius casting. James Bond turned bumbling academic, battling Nazis while scolding his son for blasphemy. We laughed, we teared up, and when he called Indy Jr., it hit harder than any punch.
Junior? 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 Junior!
Don't call me Junior.
The chemistry between Connery and Harrison Ford, despite only a 12-year age difference, gave the film its heart. Fans hoped he'd return for the fourth installment, but Connery officially retired in 2006, turning down Spielberg's offer because the part was too small, and he was enjoying retirement too much.
Breaking news, the BBC is now reporting Oscar-winning actor Sean Connery has died.
On Halloween in 2020, Connery died peacefully in his sleep at his home in the Bahamas from respiratory failure due to pneumonia, atrial fibrillation, and old age, surrounded by family. He played Indy's father, but to us, he was family. Just say Nazi face melt, and every Raiders fan sees him. Major Arnold Tote grimacing as the Ark unleashes its wrath. Ronald Lacey played him with icy glee, his twisted smile burned into cinematic memory. Though he had over 170 roles, none were more iconic. He didn't vanish after Raiders. He quietly returned in The Last Crusade as another Gestapo figure. But behind the scenes, Lacey was battling liver cancer. He passed away in 1991 at just 55. His screen time was brief, but his impact was eternal. Even after the credits rolled, his scream still echoes through the dark chambers of that ancient tomb. You might not know his name, but you remember the guy who fought Indy and lost memorably.
Junge, komm unter da!
Pat Roach was the muscle behind some of the trilogy's most brutal fights. In Raiders, he's both the Nazi mechanic sliced by a propeller and the Sherpa brawler in Nepal. In Temple of Doom, he's the chief guard crushed by the Rock Crusher. He even filmed a fight for Last Crusade, though it was cut. You can still spot him running beside Colonel Vogel. A former British wrestling champ nicknamed Bomber, Roach brought his strength to films like A Clockwork Orange, Willow and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Here's to you, Bomber, God bless him. Bomber, you lucky kid.
Roach died of esophageal cancer in 2004, but Indy's punches still echo with his force.
Your servant, sir.
He wasn't the strongest fighter or sharpest navigator, but Marcus Brody was the soul of Indy's scholarly world. With dry wit and perfect timing, Denholm Elliott made lines like, "He got lost in his own museum, unforgettable."
Kidding, I made that up. You know, Marcus got lost once in his own museum.
Off-screen, Elliott was one of Britain's most respected character actors. Discovered by Laurence Olivier, he later won 3 consecutive BAFTAs and earned an Oscar nod for A Room with a View.
Put it away, Miss Pearl, right away.
He lit up films like Trading Places and Defense of the Realm with equal parts charm and depth.
Merry Christmas. I can't.
Elliott spent his final years in Ibiza, quietly battling illness.
Today of complications from AIDS. He was 70. Elliott was a character actor who was equally at home on the London stage and in blockbuster Hollywood films.
He died in 1992 from tuberculosis related to AIDS. His ashes were scattered in his garden, but his presence still lingers in those ancient ruins. He didn't just play a villain, he reached into your chest and ripped your heart out. As Mola Ram, the terrifying priest in Temple of Doom, he gave millions of kids nightmares and helped usher in the PG-13 rating. But the man behind the menace, Amrish Puri, was far more than Hollywood ever realized. A true giant of Indian cinema, Puri appeared in over 450 films across multiple languages, revolutionizing the way villains and heroes were portrayed. When Spielberg set his sights on him, Puri initially refused a traditional audition, insisting that his work spoke for itself. Spielberg was so intrigued, he traveled to India to meet him, and later called him my favorite villain, the best the world has ever produced and ever will. Outside of Indiana Jones, Puri was already a legend, celebrated for both his chilling antagonists and his powerful supporting roles.
I have always admired his professionalism, his punctuality, his dedication. His enthusiasm was like of a 14-year-old boy.
In January 2005, after a fall at home, Puri died from a brain hemorrhage. Even after the chants faded and the flames dimmed, his presence still lingers in the temple's shadows.
Is the boundary and the price of immortality.
He only had a few minutes on screen, but Robert Edison's voice, ancient, noble, and worn by time, echoed through the canyon of the crescent moon. As the Grail Knight in The Last Crusade, his solemn
"You have chosen wisely"
became iconic. But it was the wry, "He chose poorly," that drew laughs on set.
He chose poorly.
Though best remembered for that role, Edison was a titan of British theatre, sharing stages with Ian McKellen and Maggie Smith. He played Merlin in The Legend of King Arthur and the ferryman in Jim Henson's The Storyteller.
Hey, ferryman! Will you take me across?
Jewels, riches, no one brings them back.
A lifelong smoker, Edison died of bronchial pneumonia in 1991 at 83. Honored with an OBE, his theatrical legacy lives on, even as his voice still lingers in the shadows of those ancient ruins. They took us from ancient temples to secret tombs and made us believe in adventure again. But for some of these beloved actors, their journeys ended far too soon. Which one surprised you most? And which performance will you never forget? As fans, we honor their legacy and the magic they brought to one of cinema's greatest franchises. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories behind the screen. Thank you for watching.